Let's do it. It's your boy Youre, aka Green. You know what the fuck I do. I might fuck your bitch. I might show up at La Marina. I might tell the bitch I got a hookah. Who knows? Guess what though? I solemnly swear not to fuck with nobody's bitch this year. The booger whoop season is over. Let's do it.
My name ring bells, the best thing smoking. I'm in a whole nother league. Gotta stay focused. Check the time on my roll. It came from road running. Call me Titty Boy, been going off for 10 summers. Gotta play on my phone, they want 10 bundles. What's 10 bands to a nigga who seen real numbers? They rockin' knockoff shit, these little niggas think they clean. I'm running laps, and I'm jogging in my Robin jeans. My life a movie, tell the truth, I let you play your scene. Purple Kush tasting better than some Krispy Kreme. It's hustler, nigga, the name speak for itself. Just set your shoes, just set your belt. Walked out in designer stores and bought it off the shelf. I'ma jug the whole bill till there's nothing left. Took a fall, crawled back, then I made it big. Only Lord knows all the shit that I done did. Hit the roads, brought them home, yeah, I took the risk. Brought the telly with the cruiser, probably smashed the chick. Only thing that's on my mind is get my family rich. Take these 20 bands, turn them to 100 quick. Once for 10 to see me hold it down, there's no discussion. Put them hammers on your head like I play percussion. This nigga say he getting money, but he really wasn't. Rest in peace to all the real, I'm forever stuck.
I'm making my craft, so when I speak, niggas gon' listen. Don't rap, I just talk cash. See dollar signs when I'm spitting. You don't wanna see how I'm living. Won't publicize how I get. Got a sign to say I'm gon' fish, and I be taking orders in a minute. You ain't catching on, boy, I been straight. Double points, big boy play. See the crystals, I'm snowflake. You bake said just cupcake. I ain't telling no lies, I'm just dotting my eyes. Cap say he gon' ride, nigga know good and well he gon' hide. No sugar coat for your candy paint. Give a damn what you niggas think. I'm everything that you niggas think. Just got a better bitch with a bigger bank. Street niggas gon' love it, sucker niggas gon' hate. Attitude like fuck 'em, nigga don't care as long as they pay. Then contemplate shit late. Know a lot of y'all who suspect. It's a lot of y'all gonna be upset when you catch you in the who up next. Flex Gator, that's project. Real tough guy, got a complex. Check the city, no contest. Still cutting up and ain't done yet. One-on-one, I ain't won yet. And I ain't met a nigga who won yet. Bitch sharper than a thumbtack. Still blowing strong, got a dumb sex. Say damn what make her so good. One man possessed with two evils. Been riding around with two heathens. Flesh back and up with this weasel.
I'm a convicted felon, you know, convict. Range 2 offender, 35%. The judge looked at me and said, this don't make no sense. You facing all this time, and you ain't gon' snitch. I told my lawyer, fuck the judge, the DA a bitch. I'm getting interrogated, I ain't saying shit. My prison number 319496. One more slip up, I might do my life behind the fence. They paranoid, so I'm moving like you got some sense. Call me Coach Gangsta, ain't no players coming off this bitch. It's every day, every day, all day, I'm on that brother Lynch. Bro said these niggas need to tighten up, so I guess I'm the wrench. I done walked some long miles and you ain't walked the inch. Oh, he the shit, I bet this AK is gonna make him flinch. I smell pussy cause I'm so familiar with that stench. I usually don't get mad, but you niggas got me pissed. Caution signs everywhere, so take your own risk. Calvin done it to Ace, Rico done it to Mitch. Hot done it on Juice, he turned on all his friends. But you ain't going though, we let his ass go at the end.
I'm 20 ounce, and I pulled me up a deuce. Fern wanted for murder, he blew the brains out all his scoops. Vet marrow, perk by the gallon. Don't hit my hitter up unless you callin' by the Falcon. Gucci on my belt, Gucci my cologne. She got her head all in my lap, so it's Gucci on her dome. All these fucking cheese on me, all this fucking cheese on me. Went and bought a cutty, I done pour the fucking cheese on me. Wearing this, ain't it man? Main Street they banging, man. I feel so safe I can't explain. I throw away my banger, man. Candy paint, the coupe is clear. Roof absent, but the coupe is here. Big old rims, like hard to skip. Your bitch in the car, this whip will feel.
Everything that I speak real. Been doing this since 2005. These niggas know how this heat feels. See, I'm 100 round and a refill. Regular nigga, no mild figure that like green in that Amsterdam. Recipe for me to rob niggas. See, I done robbed niggas and had problems with them. Nothing left to keeping on, and I'ma keep it real with this rap shoot. We the ones you been sleeping on. You think full time and nigga leave it alone. Dragging money, he ain't even on. Talking good, but you ain't walking good. Probably smoking, he ain't even strong. Niggas all wrong. How you posted up and missing everything? You a rookie nigga. When I'm posted up, it's me, Nina Ross, and Miss Mary Jane on everything. But no discriminating, nor imitating. You sucker niggas, we eliminating. This real shit, see, I'm demonstrating. I be ducked off, niggas still hating. Nothing left for me to keep pushing. I don't worry about these niggas. I beat these niggas like I beat pussy, and I need nookie. You can say real talk and say real speak, but I don't give a fuck, cause this real shit. My real niggas is gonna feel this.
Come on.
In this struggle, no lights and no water. Single mother, my household, no role model, no father. I was 16, it was complicated. I ain't wanna hustle, I was obligated. Drinking hard, intoxicated. Pulling flights like I got to make it. Real niggas, they get to creeping out. Pussy niggas, they start to leaving out. Funk rappers, got to weave about. Live the life that you seem to speak about. Feel some kind of way cause you singled out. Aggravated, you fabricated. Niggas soft like a bag of raisins. All haters get eradicated. Mind focus on cash, bitch. I put 5 bands in my mattress and I cop 4 on my last trip. I was down on my last bid. Never had me a whole brick. Never had me a half brick. But I kept me a bad bitch. Long hair with an accent in my life all over these beats. I so white all over these streets. Earn my stripes all over these streets. And all my life I'm over these streets. Cause they drop dimes off the time off and that hit list that got signed off. This street shit ain't for everybody. That's why they had to make sign off.
City, what up? Okay. G Wood, what up? Well, South Main, what a G like? Love, Slam City, what up? Yo, it's my city, but you know that. Bam, I got lean on top of the ground. Niggas scraping the pots and pain. More elbows than macho, man. Looks like I got it on rock again. Keep my foot in you niggas' throat. You ain't getting no oxygen. Don't come at me with that bullshit. Talk about what your pockets is. Tell me about what you got to spend. You got that? Alright. Tell the haters enjoy the show. Why you at it? Better hide your own. Fuck boy, so you're wrong. Out here acting out macho. I got shells for that beat, bitch. That's what I call a taco. Your name's cheese, but I'm about my chips. You can call me nachos. I've been the king and I'm still a king. Please tell me it's not so. I know these niggas chickens, but I call these niggas waffles. Chickens with squares in this circle. Call these niggas Roscoe's. I'm in the street shooting potholes. Stacked it up to them clowns though. I don't fuck with these thoughts, but if you got money, I'm around though. Posted up on that L, yeah. Ain't no haters allowed though. Been in the hood, I'm still in the hood. You don't wanna be found though. Gin and cream, gin blanks. Yeah, we letting them cows go straight to the bank so they can count for me. Real shop so they can mount for me. Niggas still be hating, should be straightening up my crown for me. Call me if it's about some money. No, I'm hating for you.
Piss me off. Hey, guess what? I took these and left.
Welcome to the show, everybody. Enjoy this tune real quick. I'll be right with y'all. Alright, what was you saying, boo?
Yeah, that's the thing that they had switched to the Dunkin' Donuts. We had like 30 donuts. They was all these guys.
Said that I am one giant fuckhead. Me and Neil deGrasse trade shields for cash, and we are the evil that people want dead. You're just a product of the environment, but everything is fake. This entire shit, I don't know what to say, but I'm not buying it. I've been here every day and I've been trying it. Everything that we're taught is a scam, and all along it was part of the plan. Telling us they're gonna go to Mars with a man. That's why I call them out as hard as I can. We ain't been to the moon and we ain't going soon, and everybody at NASA is a soulless fool. Man, this is fact. This is so damn true. Everybody watch out, the rhymes floating through. Man's face is fake, but you gotta admit this lie takes the cake. These people need to chill out and take a break, but I'll never sleep again, I gotta stay awake. They lie and we don't need that. It's one big hoax and I'm starting to see that. Space was a place that I wanted to be at. I used to believe that.
No, that's one very flexible word.
I used to think the earth was a ball just like you. Who knew everything that we learned in school? It's nothing but bullshit, none of it's true. Ha. And these people call it education, just a clever way to say indoctrination. You don't seem to understand the plot we're facing. It's all about common sense and observation, but not for the mainstream, it isn't the case. They say you're spinning on a rock in the middle of space, but now's not the time, nor is it the place. I'm really sick of getting lied to, so get out my face. If you feel the way I feel, then come with me, get up. Flat earthers all across the plane, ripping it up. Truth seekers all up in this bitch, getting it crooked. And if you think we plan on stopping, then you're shit out of luck. That's why ODB is always on the grind, and I'm never ever scared to speak what's on my mind. Cause this day and age, everybody is afraid. It's an illness, realness is hard to find. They lie all the time, and we don't need that. It's one big hoax, and I'm starting to see that. Space was a place that I wanted to be at. I used to believe that.
Don't be like that. Hello, everybody. Did y'all enjoy those tunes? Let's see. Roll call. We got Joe from Cali. Food, Clothing, Shelter. What's good? God is Rich Better. Welcome. Larry Joyner. What's good? I think this here. Oh, Libra Star. What's good, man? Yeah, all's well, fam. Let's go ahead and get into this real quick. I just happened to come across this video. I was playing around, and I was coming across this video with Vincent Rose. I haven't even seen it yet, but let's go ahead and tune into it. I figure this would be a first time watching this for all of us, so let's see what he had to say. And definitely go subscribe if you're not already. Go ahead and subscribe to Vincent Rose channel. Here, matter of fact, I'll put the link in the chat. Definitely subscribe to him, cause he puts in a lot of work. There you go.
The True TV News. I'm Vincent Rose, your host, and I wanted to talk to you about Which Way Is Up. You know, that movie came out in the 70s, and it was starring Richard Pryor. And Richard Pryor, you know, again, he's a control person who obviously got his big break from, you know, his comic routine, which was more of an Illuminati psyop because, again, it did lead us down the path of immorality and drugs, and also even sexual immorality, because many of his movies were forerunners to indecency. Anyway, I do want to talk about Richard Pryor as a control person, and he was controlled by the media, the elite, and the elite had an agenda And so a lot of times you can see things in plain sight when it comes down to people like Richard Pryor. And this, I think this billboard says it all. Which way is up? In the shape of a globe. And there's Richard Pryor in the center. And the globe is pointing in all directions. And is up down or is down up? Is this up? Or is this up? Which way is up? So there's a symbolism here that cannot be ignored. Even though this came out, I think, in 1977, we can see that the elite are up to their same tricks, putting truth in plain sight. And yeah, this is truth in plain sight because we know that there is an up and we know that there is a down. The Bible tells us so, that there is an up and a down. Jesus talked many times about, the Father is above. And so we are below, we are beneath the earth, and the Father is above the earth. And that is also recorded in the book of Ezekiel, where Ezekiel talks about when he looked up, he could see heaven above. He saw a person sitting on the throne. Above the earth. And so so many times we see throughout scripture that there is a above and then there is a below. But in this satanic upside down world that we live in, you can see that again this is being played out to the public to say, hey, we got one over on you. Which way is up? If you don't really understand what's up, then you really have went for the psyop, the indoctrination. You've actually fallen in line with what we want you to fall in line with. And again, what do? They select what they think we ought to think. They push agendas on us. They create stars. They created Richard Pryor, who is part of the agenda, which is to, again, spread indecency. They destroy anybody that was moral, and they got rid of people who were, mild, a little bit too mild for them. This is when I believe Robert Townsend had to go, because I don't think that Robert Townsend fit their bill of being raw enough or being loud enough in terms of indecent conversation, indecent speech, and he was a little bit more interested in not spreading the propaganda to the community, and especially the black community, the propaganda to be stereotyped. So I think people more like Rich Pryor, Red Fox, and those kinds of movie actors, those kinds of stars, black celebrities, were more in line with who they wanted to be portrayed, because what they were on was a path to actually destroy America, and also not only destroy us morally, but destroy us mentally and also spiritually, and that's what they wanted to do. And so you can see that this here is almost look like kind of demonic to the pointing of the arrow, which way is up. And again, here's the sinister look on his face, the insane look on his face, and then the bewildered kind of look on his face here, like a idiot, or either maybe even Neanderthalish. So you can see that out of this programming, they were already at work trying to destroy or brainwash Americans, or just the world, period. In general, just the world. They started with America here because Hollywood is right here in our midst. And so we spread all of this junk and filth to the rest of the world. And so, yeah, that's what this is about. Rich Pryor, which was what. As a matter of fact, the movie wasn't really that funny. As Richard got older and he did more crack smoking, and also participated in some of these sex parties that they have. He began to, you can see that he lost more and more of the soul to that Hollywood kind of group of people that were into satanic worship, secret societies, and hidden agendas. And so as the more this happened to him, this depth of funniness, his depth of insight began to get less. And so I think that is also true for many of the black actors. But again, you tell me which way is up. What is up north or is up south? Because really, if you're in the south, they tell me you can't feel like you don't feel like you're upside down. So there's no blood rushing to your head because gravity magically pulls your blood back to the ground, so you don't feel dizzy. You don't feel like blood is rushing to your head.
All right, let me pause right there before I continue. But like, he got a good point. So if that was true, and you don't feel like you're upside down and the blood doesn't rush to your head because of, gravity and the reason, Australia. Then, come on, give me my photos. Then, they need to explain this then. If people in Australia is not upside down, then why do they use the fact that they can view the moon upside down to prove they on the globe? You can't have it both fucking ways, people. You cannot have it both ways. It's either or. Now, upside down moon works on the flat earth model. We all know that. If I cut this moon out and copy it, paste it on my ceiling just like this, and I walk across my floor, this right here would be facing the opposite direction. So it clearly can work on a flat model. But my thing is exactly what Vince is saying. Everything is up because gravity and relativity and all that nonsense. But yet they like to say that the moon in the southern hemisphere is upside down from the northern hemisphere. That proves that we live on a globe. So which one is it? Which one is it? Are you living upside down on the bottom of the globe to view the moon upside down, or that the moon is upside down because we're straight across on the other side of the plane and view it differently? You can't have it both ways, people. I'm going in on this. Come on.
The question is, how do we know that south isn't north and north isn't south? I know that sounds confusing, but how do you know? How do you know that, when we send rockets off, are we sending them up to the moon? Or
oh, shit.
Here.
Sorry.
The picture about this.
No,
because again, I saw another picture about this, and this is kind of ridiculous here. But this picture here shows that today, I think it was today, this was breaking news today, and let's just cover that stuff up there. Says tiny Mars-bound satellite snaps its first image of the Earth and the Moon. And it says here, don't be lost in space on the next launch. Space.com. And so they say here that they sent 2 cubes out in space, CubeSats. They are these very small satellites that have gone farther than any other satellite.
Now y'all, now I'm pretty sure he knows this, but he said they sent 2 CubeSats out there. This is the code. They don't even, they're right there, like, and then when people hear this crap, they just be like, oh my God, they're really expanding space exploration and travel. So what I just heard, they sent 2 CubeSats out there. In reverse, they're pushing the idea of Saturn's cube. Because anybody who really digs into the history of Saturn, they know that all of that ties into flat Earth. But let's continue.
Gone. They've boldly gone beyond Earth's orbit, and now they're way out in space. So here they've turned around the satellites on the way out, on the way to the moon. From what I understand, these cube satellites, these CubeSats, turned around, and after deploying their antenna, their long-range antennas.
So I'm guessing this is satellite right here. So, where are the fucking stars?
Which it would have taken a lot of wattage in order to do that, you know. And again, the average, I know that in the 50s, the average television station couldn't reach, I think it couldn't reach 40 and 50 miles. I could be wrong, but anyway, what we're looking at now is that apparently they have gone.
Also, how is the Earth lit up and the sun and the moon reflecting the sunlight on the same side? Just a question.
Many, many miles away from the Earth, because these satellites were able to capture this picture of Earth and the moon on a snapshot as they turned around, as they were doing a backward shot on the way to the moon. So I don't know how we can know which way is up here. This might be down and this is up. Or maybe this is the South Pole and this is the North. Or maybe this is South and this is the North. Either way, it doesn't matter. The point that I'm saying is that the satellites took pictures, and that was done on May 5th that these satellites departed from the Earth, and these 2 satellites went all the way out past the stratosphere, got all the way out past the exosphere, and got all the way out past the Van Allen belt. And they, let's see, I think they were about 620,000 miles from the Earth on the 8th day before Marco B snapped the newly released image, NASA officials said. Wow, that's really something. Let's take another look at that. How about that? This is the first photo captured by the NASA's 2 Mars Cube 1 CubeSats, which launched along with the agency's InSight lander on May 5th. Okay, so all right, so we have these 2 satellites, Thing 1 and Thing 2, which were built. Thing 1 and Thing 2, yes. I'm sorry, I went back. I don't know where does that come from. Thing 1 and Thing 2, which were built at JPL, are conducting a demonstration mission. Basically, they're handlers. Oh my goodness, that word handlers. I don't think it means the same thing as handlers. Like in Richard Pryor was handler, like in Madonna was handler, had a handler. Like all of the other actors have handlers. So this could not be the same kind of handler. So basically, their handlers aim to show the cube SATs can indeed help explore distant destinations. So they're on their way to Mars. If all goes according to plan, Marco A and Marco B will fly by Mars on November 26th, the same day that InSight arrives at the red planet. Wow. Well, I don't even want to go on this talking about InSight here. You know, again, this has been released. So it says the Marco craft will undergo a long distance health check within a few weeks of Mars flyby, and then the mission will be over. The team member said that's what happened. So they went turn around. Let me ask you this question though. I'm really curious. Where are the stars?
Didn't I just ask that?
All right, I know I'm going to have trolls, and the trolls are going to say, the stars are right there, you idiot. And don't criticize NASA. So, okay. But this is a picture of the Earth. How about that? And then that's a picture of, oh, the moon. Maybe if there was, maybe they took all the stars out so that they could cause the Earth to show up in the resolution. That might be what's going on.
Yeah,
That's why the only two planets that you can see.
So if this is the moon, so maybe they did that from. All right, so if this is the moon, and this is the Earth, and they're nearly 240k miles apart. Then, and look how close they are. That's 240,000, right? But look how far this image is. So this had to be several million miles out. So they were able to alter the resolution from, for sake of argument, to make it simple, from 20 million miles out. Really? But it's but it's hard for us to get signals with our cell phones just 20 miles across town. Interesting. But what do I know? I don't know science. I do not know science. I do not know that science is an intellectual and practical activity encompassing the systematic study of the physical and natural world through observation and experiment. Look at the description box. I do not know science at all.
The solar system are Earth and the moon. Maybe. Somebody needs to write NASA and ask them. Anyway, I just thought maybe I'd talk about those things. You know, I don't really have anything else to say.
Now look. Now real quick before we start. Sorry. I didn't know it was gonna be that loud. Okay. So you look at this Causeway, right? They say this proves the Earth is globular. This proves the Earth is spherical, right? And they just go by this picture. But I go by the blueprints. And where's that one? So when I look at the blueprint, here, you want to hear this fool? I was over in his chat earlier. Anyways, when I go by the blueprint, if this damn thing will let me click on it. Anyways, I guess they won't let me zoom in on it because they know I'm about to go in. I go by this blueprint here, and look how they got figure 1 and figure 2.
Now, you see right here in figure 1, if they actually built this, if they actually built this, if they actually built this according to the spherical model, this is the calculations they would have to do. You see this? They would have to raise the power lines up and then come down. But according to a flat surface model, these right here meet up because the lines go straight across. Okay? So they like to go by this picture right here. This picture right here. So when you look at the side view, I seen the side view over here somewhere. Where is it? Here it is. I don't know. It's not letting me click on it. It's acting very, very retarded right now. Let me see if it'll do it now. There it is. If you look at the side view, you can clearly tell this picture has been altered. Cause you see right here. You see right here how he's going straight across the water, but as you get towards the, hold on. But hello everybody. Here's my handsome face. Hey. Okay. So when you get towards the end of the towards a horizon or whatever, if you look right here, let's see if it zoom in farther. Even here you can see it. You can see it's a gap between the water and the power lines. Okay? Wow, that must prove the Earth is a glob, is a globular object. Here it is. When you look at here, look at this. You can clearly tell this picture's been altered. Look. Look at the water and look at this little bit of sky between the water and the structure itself. You see that? It's like they raised it up and then curved it back down. to really use this to debunk flat Earth. It's not happening. It's not even happening. Then you can look here. Look how the two water images right here. You see that? Well, I'm gonna go ahead and open up the panel real quick so we can build. A little bit. Try to put about an hour in or whatever, and then So let me go ahead and set the panel up. Sorry for the wait, y'all, but before I open the panel, I always like to get my before I open the panel, I always like to get my I like to get my intro out the way. I like to get my introduction going. Let me go ahead and set up the panel. Now go ahead and put the link in the chat. Excuse me. Images. Alright. Let me go ahead and put the link in the chat box real quick. There we go, fam. So how you doing out there? I see that
Hey, what up, boy?
what up, boy?
Man, everything, man.
Hold
Trying to
on.
build, brother.
Hold on, we can't hear you, fam. Let me turn you up a little bit. Go ahead.
I said, man, I'm just out here chilling, man. I was pretty much dealing with my brothers on the HOTC headquarters on Discord, man. There's a lot of brothers over there. Sir Drop, EO, all the boys over there, man. It's we building over there, man. It's a movement, bro. I'm glad that you know what I'm saying, you open the channel up, man, so we can spread out more truth, man, for the world here. You know what I mean?
Right, I was over there earlier, fam. But
Okay.
I was over there earlier, but I didn't get no. Um, I didn't see anybody, so I waited for a
Yeah,
minute.
they still in the now. I love what I do is after the show, man, I'll hit you with the direct link to the HOTC headquarters, man. It's a house for everybody now. I don't care what your stance is, whether you're a globe earther, flat earther. You know what I mean? We all seeking truth out here, man. That's what it's all about. So I appreciate you, brother. Let me get up here and build with you, brother.
Not a problem, not a problem.
Hey, what's
Yeah.
happening, y'all?
Yo, what's going on,
Going,
Harris? How you doing, my brother?
all right.
Welcome to the show.
Y'all hear me
Welcome to the
okay?
panel. We good.
Cool.
We good. We good. How y'all doing, though?
All right. What's doing all right? I see some flat earth stuff. I see you were looking at perspective.
Yeah. Yeah, because a lot of people like to use the Causeway for. A lot of people like to use the Causeway for, like, as evidence or whatever, but they never really look at the blueprint, you know. Dre
Right.
Midas, what's good?
What it do?
What it do, fam? Yeah, man, they like to use the Causeway as you know, to debunk flat Earth, but yet they never look into the blueprint. Matter of fact, let me see if I can bring up the blueprint again. Let me see. I want to see the actual surveying. I actually want to see the actual blueprints. You know, the engineering artist drawn blueprint of how they gonna build stuff. You know, let me see. Okay, I probably gotta type it in again because when you when you really look into the blueprint, you realize the blueprint don't match up to the globe model, man. Like when you look at the blueprint of anything, a train track or whatever.
Right. Yeah, I'm not for sure why what they're trying to hide. People always ask that. I think it's more of a I think that years ago they thought they had something, they got it wrong, and they don't want to admit it that they're wrong. And also, you know, extra resources and things like that. So they want everybody to think they're living on a globe.
Right.
You know what? You can take it a step farther than that and say that the reason why they don't want people to know the flat plane because what it does is it raises your consciousness to think. You know what I'm saying? Because when you think about the globe and the understanding of the globe and why they built the globe and how they built the globe, they built the globe to hide consciousness. You understand what I'm saying? Because it bends. You know what I mean? It's because you understand like the globe is steel, right? And the Masons who were also map makers what they did was they used a compass and a square. You understand what I'm saying? And so it goes back to the understanding of your three basic shapes and the reason how they found out about the globe and the reason why they made the globe because they wanted to see all things at one time. You understand what I'm saying? That's what it's all about. Because that gives revelation and the consciousness to the all-seeing, not looking down at all things at all times. You understand what I'm saying?
That sounds interesting.
I think
Definitely.
the purpose of the globe, in my opinion, basically just to hide the creator.
Yeah.
If you look at
To
everything
hide the higher
that's
being.
attached, yeah, everything that's attached to the globe is void of a creator. You know, where an accident we happened, you know, an accident flying through space. You know, there's no rhyme or reason to how we came to be and all the order that we see. It just happenstance. That's wonderful.
Right.
Hiding the creator.
But look, let them tell it. Let them tell. Look, Dre, don't let them hear you say that too loud, cause they're swerving down that we're all Christian Bible thumping fucks.
I don't get down like that. I don't mess with the religion, but at the same
Right.
time, I'm not naive to sit here and say to myself after after knowing all the things that I've learned that there is no such thing as a creator. I have to be
Right. Just like it's not like that. It's not like that our ancestors, you know, are Egyptian or African, Chinese, Japanese, Hindu, Mayan ancestors all knew the earth was flat before the Jesus doctrines came around. I mean, they had all that in their teachings before the doctrines even came around. But
Right.
you know,
But the Jesus was a story about you and I. The Jesus story is a story about astrology. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's the same as a whole bunch of the other.
yeah,
but
well,
you gotta understand, it's the same story told all over.
Yeah.
It's always been about us. You understand what I'm saying? It's all about us. That's what it's all about. It's about you because if you look at the story of Jesus, right, or a horse, or whatever you want to call him, you know what I mean? It's about a young man starting his journey trying to seek truth and wake people up to consciousness, give them consciousness. You know what I'm saying? And you understand the 12 men that he was rolling with were representation of the zodiac. You understand what I'm saying? And also,
Oh yeah, that's
you know what I
true.
mean? You look at it from the standpoint of, you know what I mean? In the beginning, he was trying to talk to a lot of people from what the book tells us, but only 12 of them stuck with him. So when you think about the 12, the remnant, or a small group, what you're talking about now is the conscious community, because it's not, you think about the conscious community compared to the billions of people that think we crazy, believe in what we believe in, just the way they thought Jesus was crazy or Horus was crazy, or whatever you want to call him. They thought he was crazy, but he was giving out truth. You understand what I'm saying? So it's just like this. If you understand going to Islam or Buddhist, you gotta eat the fish and spit the bones out. You understand what I'm saying? Because
right,
one man's God is another man's devil, and one man's devil is another man's God. You understand what I'm saying?
right.
Yeah. I have a question I want for all you guys. Why do you think it's so hard right now to, like, I see all kinds of different models, like the concave, you know, the silly globe model, and other stuff, and it seems like they have a model that works, whereas it seems with the flat Earth when everybody's still struggling, and we're all with coming up with one that we can agree on or figuring out how one that can work.
Say it one more time. I'm sorry, I
So
was reading
Yeah,
something.
like I have my own
um,
views on how things work, but I know like somebody was asking the other day, a bunch of people were talking, why is it so hard for us to come up with a model that works right now?
as far as flat Earth,
Yeah, as far as like the map, you know how everything, how to explain like all the different things. Because there's nothing in my experience that would lead me to believe we live on a spinning ball at all. But if you ask me how everything works, I don't know how it all works either.
well, for the most part, I would just say, I don't know why it's so hard. I think it's because people refuse to look at the basics, you know, and completely disregard it and compare it whether it makes more sense on the flat model
or does it make more sense on the globe? Like most people can't even get beyond that basic hurdle. And it's so far fetched and unrealistic and laughable that they don't even entertain it on any level, and that's where they drop the ball because they're closed-minded,
Right?
And they're basically trained to respond on that level. You know, so
Right.
that's the part. That's probably the major issue right there. But that's a product of the indoctrination. That's going to be something that's going to be a hard nut to crack right there.
Right. See, with me, I never believed we lived on a spinning ball, so it's not new to me. And I also don't believe that there's a map out there that's accurate, that's 100% accurate. Having said that, I also think that
We don't have an
this
accurate
world isn't
map. We don't
this
have an
world
accurate
isn't as
map for
big.
either model, though.
Yeah, I don't think this world is as big as people think it is either. I think that, you know, on a local level, yeah, you can get some maps and things right, but I don't think the other continents are as far as they say it is. I think we're closer together than people realize.
I don't think so. I think that you know, there's probably, I'm not going to say an infinite amount of space, but I do believe there's probably at least double the landmass that we are aware of, or that we think we're aware of, according to the maps that they show us. There's probably at least double that. At least double that.
Oh yeah, I'll agree that there's probably more, but I think that the part that we're inhabiting, you know, where all the continents, where 7 continents that we all know of, I think those are tighter together than we think they are. As far as the other land that's way out, you know, you're probably right.
I mean, I think for the most part, especially nowadays with all the technology that the average Joe can get their hands on, I think for the most part, the mileage and the distances that they associate with the land masses is relatively correct.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
I was just saying, like, you get like if you're in a plane, because some things that I watch, they say like, you know, I don't know if you ever heard it, that they disable the GPS once
Right.
they're over the water.
Yeah.
And so maybe distance to fly to China or somewhere is probably maybe closer than what they might say it is. But I've never mapped it out myself.
Well, see, from what I understand about that whole thing with them blacking out the you know, the flight logs or
Right.
whatever, is because they don't want people to actually see the route that they're taking. It wouldn't make any, you know, it wouldn't make any sense. So it disappears and then it reappears. So they're
Right.
doing it because they don't want you to realize that they're flying according to a flat plane. Which they all know, all the people in the aviation industry know that. I'm pretty sure that virtually everybody in every branch of the military that operates with any type of you know, instruments that survey or even launch missiles for that matter, they're not launching missiles on the curved ball. That's for sure. They use coordinates. They plot coordinates, and then they shoot the angle, and there you go. You can't do that on a ball, a spinning ball, because it would change. It's constantly moving. They can't compensate for that.
You know what? If they did shoot it, they probably say it moves with the atmosphere. I can hear it now.
Yeah, but then that argument doesn't make sense because then you got to account for it in the opposite direction. You know what I mean?
Right. No, I was just saying, you know how they get stupid?
Yeah.
How they always say everything moves with it.
But that's what I'm saying. That's what makes it such a hard nut to crack, is because these people, you can put the true answer, or at least something that makes about 1,000 times more sense and applicable in real life. You put it right in their lap, and they disregard it and look at you like you got 10 heads. You know
Oh
what I
yeah,
mean?
like Gary, like Gary, cause one time Gary was on my show and we was going over, we were all building. I did a 5-part series, on the loss of conservation. How basically when you really look at the loss of conservation, it proves that the Earth would never be destroyed by no fucking asteroid or meteor. It also assumes and that the earth won't be destroyed by God either. You know what I'm saying? By Jesus or whatever, because he's not gonna the creator is not gonna destroy its creation when it's made it when it's put here or whatever. But at the same time, when we was looking through it, since anything that falls into the laws of conservation, whether it's mass, energy, electricity, time, or whatever, um, it can't be created either. It's already there. It was already constant. It probably changed form, but it can't be created nor destroyed. But however, can change form. Just like how energy can change form, mass can change form, time can change form, right? So, electricity can change its form. So I was reading something from a scientist, and then I was just basically just regurgitating what the scientist was saying or something. And then Gary was like, "No, that's your claim." That I was sharing my screen and everything. I'm like, dude, how the fuck is this my claim when I'm showing you the goddamn scientist that's saying the shit? How the fuck are you trying to say that that's my claim? No, the scientist claimed this, and I'm just debunking his bullshit.
Very special, man.
Man, he's
Yeah.
a special snowflake.
I found that people are really attached to their sources. You know what I mean? Like if you have a source and they seem like they're not open to other things. And so a lot of time people are battling each other, trying to defend the information that they received from someone else just because they like them more. Like some people like Fox News and other people like CNN or whatever. And so so you might have showed this guy, the scientist, but if it wasn't somebody he was familiar with, he linked it to you.
Right, but the scientist that I showed him worked with Einstein.
Well,
You see what I'm saying? I was like, that's your claim. That's
Listen,
your claim. I was like, no, it ain't, dumb it.
Gary is special.
He's a special fucking stupid,
He's
man.
special. Yeah, he's special.
Like I can understand if if we build on something and then they be like, you don't have no you don't got no claim. That's your claim. You do this, do that, and then I'm not able to provide information. But I'm sitting there providing the information, showing you the screen as we're all teaching and learning together, and you clearly can see my screen. If it doesn't show up in the Hangout, tune to the watch page. But I make sure I try to match my visuals and audios together. And if it's on my screen and I'm just stating something that what somebody said or somebody wrote, and you be like, that's your claim, you made that up, and it's showing right here on the screen that clearly I didn't make it up. I'm just going by the bullshit this fucking scientist that didn't work with Einstein or whoever said it. Then you're dumb. You don't want to learn the truth. You're a fucking troll, and I said that. You're a fucking troll, man. You don't want to learn the truth. You just want to hop on people's panel just to tell them they're wrong. But even though you don't provide any type of information, no research, no data, no observation, no experiment to claim to prove they're wrong, and then he said, "Well, it's not the burden on us. Is the burden on us is we're not supposed to show you how you're wrong. You have to show us how you're right." I'm like, "Nah, dumbass. If you telling me I'm wrong, you need to provide the source and information to." Show me where I'm wrong at. That's how people learn. You do not learn. You do not go through life learning, thinking you're always fucking right all the goddamn time. You learn. You learn by being wrong and getting better so you can correct your wrongs. Dumbass.
I agree. I agree with you. You know what? I found out. Not to cut anybody off. The more I've learned, the more I realize I don't know shit. I don't know anything.
Yeah, I feel the same way.
Um,
The thing that kind of really kills me about them, like Gary and all the arguments that they bring, is like two of the most major things that they stand on. Gravity. Can't reproduce gravity. No experiments or whatever it is, but they won't prove it for that fact. It's a theory. Being on the globe, you can't reproduce no type of an experiment that wraps water around the ball. You can't even produce an experiment that bends the surface of water. You know what I mean? Into the shape of a sphere in any way other than putting it in a container.
Right.
It's like, and these are like sort of big things that you stand on, and yet they harp on this scientific thing, and they try to stick by these scientific principles, and you can't reproduce through that major, you know, so something's going on.
Yeah. Titan trying to say something? Hey, Titan, we don't hear you.
No.
Titan.
You can't. No, can you hear me?
Yeah, now I can.
No, you good. I'm just trying to show something real quick. Let me look
Oh,
at the
okay.
chat. I'm sure if I try to share my screen, I found a piece of a blueprint that I'm somewhat looking for. Let me see. It's in info to the book sound.
Yeah, but Dre's making a lot of sense.
Oh yeah, thanks, Mike. Actually, I'm about to debunk Soundly and Red's rhetoric. I finna destroy both of them bitches in one photo. Let me just.
Oh, let's check this out.
Yeah, let me just
You
bring
know,
this over here.
I think with the gravity, how you guys were talking about the gravity, I think that in order for them to prove to make gravity work, it almost probably could make something like that would work, but then they would have to change their own model and would have to throw gravity out of the equation and have to start saying that it's an universe or something else.
Yeah, they can't do that because if they throw gravity out the equation, then that kind of scraps the whole way that everything formed.
Let me make sure.
Exactly.
It's like how can you build anything on a foundation like that and then stand by it once it's exposed? You know what I mean? And they just kind of like they stick to it.
Yeah, they dug a deep hole for themselves that they can't even really get out of now. That's why they're just riding it.
Oops.
I don't even think they believe it. I think when Neil Tyson is talking, I don't think he believes half the shit he's saying. It seems like you ever see a brother that be trying to bullshit their way? That seems like he's. That's what it seems like he's doing.
He's an actor. He ain't no damn astrophysicist or whatever he's supposed to be. He's an actor.
Right. Okay. Hey, look. Can y'all see my screen?
Okay, the typical section.
Yeah. Typical selection. Now, this is what they don't do. They look for curve and be like, look, like they look for curve and then they just leave it there. I'm like, okay, I'm finna show these bitches what research really is. Yeah, we seen something that seemed like it was a curve under those power lines at the lake Causeway or whatever. But did you motherfuckers ever thought to look up the blueprints of how everything was filled, how everything was built? You know, when you look at here, it says Earthfield, typical levee. For one, they're right there already gonna make the power line somewhat even. So what do they have to do? They have to fill Earth, basically fill Earth up under it, which is possible.
Sure.
It's I want to say it's a airport over in Japan somewhere where it's made on a man-made island. Yes, a man-made island. They actually had. It took them about 20 to 30 years, I think, to build this island for this airport to sit on, and they dug up all types of earth, used all types of sandbags and everything to keep that heavy structure from floating away out on some bay that's out over in Japan somewhere. You see what I'm saying? So when you really just look through all the blueprints, let me see if I can view more.
Well,
look, here it is. Here's the blueprints. So tell me, motherfuckers, Which one? In any one of these blueprints, where do they account for motherfucking curvature at, man? Where do they account for curvature? You can see here where some lines had to be cut longer than the other, and some had to be raised up than the other, so the power lines can go straight across the bay, straight across the lake rather. But go ahead, Dre. What was you saying?
Well, the thing that with that Causeway photo, this to echo.
My
do you
fault.
have
Here,
your
let me mute my mic. It's probably me. Let me mute my mic. Go ahead, Dre. You got the floor, bro.
Like the first major problem, like with that photo that they try to use to prove curvature, that they're banking on the fact that those towers are in a straight line. That's the linchpin for them, and they're wrong. Those towers aren't in a straight line. Those towers actually curve. And if you go onto like Google Earth and go to those, and there's a ton of videos out there, you can easily find them. People show you this, and they perform the experiments on their kitchen table, and then your kitchen table ain't curved, and they made little models of the tower and the car. Anyway, but the towers are curved. So once you actually point out to them the fact that the towers are curved, that destroys everything that they stand on right there. So you can just destroy them with that. You don't even need to pull out the blueprints because that's just going, I mean, you can, of course, but that's just going like the extra mile.
All
If
right,
they
we
don't
always
get
got to
it,
go the extra mile since they can't find the extra common sense to
yeah,
look
it's insane.
in.
And let me tell you something. Listen, I've been in construction. I've been in construction for like 20 years, heavy highway construction, where we work on projects that span for like 40 and 50 highway miles, bridges that span rivers and things of that nature. And not one blueprint that we've ever drafted, read, opened, scaled, anything. Never, ever, 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 ever in the history of them did anything ever account for curvature. It
Right,
just
and
doesn't
even
exist in architecture.
Helmet. I was on the panel with him last night over on Candy I Spy NASA Live's channel. Definitely
Mhm.
subscribe to her for fam. I Spy, excuse me, NASA Live's channel, and he sent me some pictures in the back chat that also debunks Sam Lee's and photo his of this lake causeway or whatever. Which anytime I go to his channel, that's all he uses. That is, like anybody else, I'm subscribed to him. Hopefully, hoping that he have out some more content, some different content or whatever. But this motherfucker, the whole time, it's like a 24-hour thing, and the whole time it's showing this causeway. Like, is that the only proof of the globe you got, bro? I mean, we got so many ways
Yeah.
to prove flat Earth. I mean, or to back up flat Earth. I mean, besides the scriptures, which I really don't like to refer to the scriptures, I like to refer to the science first, and then if anybody eyes decide to wake up, then I might point them to a scripture or two. But I never go in head first with a Bible in my hand. I tried when I first came into the movement. I tried that and all that, and actually I ran instead of planting the seed, they threw it away. It ended up making them run away faster because then they would come back, all you just Christian Bible thumping idiots. But then when I started researching that it was some lies within the religion and some lies within the Bible as well, I stopped using the Bible. You know what I'm saying? I just stuck with the science, the observation, and experiments. And it seemed that I end up I tend to plant. It seemed that I ended up planting more seeds that way, and then the seeds I did plant, later on when they did the little research, they found the Bible on their own accord. I didn't have to shove it in their face. You see what I'm saying? They were like, "Oh man, I'm glad I woke up to the movement because they let me. Because I used to be a diehard atheist. Now I know there is a creator. What you see what I'm saying? Because me or whoever else talked to them, we hit them with the science, the observation and experiment. They found the Bible on their own.
You know what's funny that you say that? Because I know when I used to debate people when I first started going online talking to people, they would ask me if I was religious, and I tell them, no, I'm not. Um, I hate the term atheist. I wouldn't say I'm an atheist. I don't believe in anything. I either agree or disagree, but I do understand there's something, nature or the source or whatever you want to call it. There's something, there's a natural order of the way things work, and
hmm
that's the extent of it. But I was going to say, I think these ancients, a lot of times scientists make it seem like ancients didn't know what they were talking about. And I think some of those guys, they saw something, and it's not right for anyone to sit there and knock these people for what they saw. They might describe it in a different way, but I don't in any way think these people were stupid.
Right.
And scientists sometimes will try to make these people sound like they were idiots. They don't know what they were talking about. And we have the answers when they don't really know what the heck is going on.
Well, that's because they don't want to lend any credence to what the things that they say, and that would obviously lend hella credence to what we call flat Earth. So that's why they want you to think that they were all idiots and morons and they couldn't figure shit out and whatever, this, that, and the other, blah, blah, blah.
hmm
And we're the smartest, but yet we can't do half the things that they do.
No, they couldn't
Right.
even tell us how pyramids were built.
Right. They couldn't. I mean, they couldn't. Well, then again, you know what? Nowadays, with the technology that they may be hiding, waiting to use it after whatever happens, I wouldn't doubt if they do have the technology where they can levitate or melt stone,
hmm
things of that nature. So
Oh yeah,
I think it might be possible for them
check
to
this
do it
out, Dre.
now.
What you saying was pretty accurate about how they built the tower somewhat curved. Cause look at this blueprint. Look how it starts up. It kind of flattens out right there, and then it kind of, it's not a straight line.
Yeah, oh, here, I'm tell you what you do. Listen right now, and B, 'cause I'm pretty sure it's her. She's got one video, but she had a pretty good one. She does it on the kitchen table,
hmm
and she actually takes you to the I believe it's like, I don't know, Google Earth or whatever, and she takes you to the aerial view of it. Then she takes out the tool or whatever, draws a straight line between the two endpoints of the bridge,
hmm
of the power lines, and it's clearly got a bend in it. Like it might, if say for instance, I don't know exactly how long it is, but say if it's 10 miles, at like maybe the 7 mile point, it bends like maybe 6 or 7 degrees or something to the left. So it's in a perfectly straight line. So when people are looking at it from the ground at that perspective, not only are their eyes compensating for that curve or that kink that they put in the line, but the eyes are also being affected by the perspective and the vanishing point. And this is what makes it look like a curve.
Right.
And you were talking about it earlier how
Not to
they
mention
said,
they brains are already programmed to see a curve.
well, yeah, that too. But if they would have made that, they would have made those power lines perfectly straight, it would look just like a train track where it would just go in a straight line and it would slowly taper away into here. Like they built that purposely like that to put
hmm
to put that illusion out there. Everything that they've ever done, whether they built it or created it whatever else, ultimately it's a part of the system that they put in place to control and confuse. Yeah, I
That's
understand.
true, and,
So
and then people don't even look into the damn they don't even look deep into it. Like Like I'm gonna show that video. I mean, not video. I'm gonna show that photo that Mike put out. But I mean, look at all these blueprints. Cause you know the Causeway got several sections. You know, you got the power lines that go over the water. Then you got the bridge part. Then you got the sidewalk that tourists and stuff can walk on. But look, and I believe this one right here with the power lines. Look how you see what I'm saying? Look how it goes up and then comes down. Like you said, it doesn't go in a complete straight line. You know, that doesn't. That's what I'm saying. There's nothing in any blueprint. There's nothing in any blueprint that accounts for curvature, man. It just they need to just accept the fucking fact that none of these blueprints, all these blueprints, are basically cut straight. You don't see any curves
So
really.
let me tell these people something real quick about like, and you gotta kill that echo.
On my
I
phone.
don't know.
It's probably me. Let me mute.
Just, like when it comes to blueprints, like what he's showing you right now, some of these things are called cross sections, where they're showing you an elevation from the side. You slice it in half. Then they give you dimensions from the base, whatever the base is, to the height. So if the base of the bridge is at we'll say 30 feet below grade, it will show you that, and then it will show you the ultimate height. If the height is 100 feet above grade, it will show you the top. It will show you the distance in between. You never see any cross sections, any structural blueprints, whether they're architectural, residential, commercial, whatever the case may be. I've never ever seen in my life a blueprint that compensates for any type of curvature. And we build level and flat structures on a regular basis. We build structures that depend on what they call gravity feed, because we have to accommodate for drainage and things of that nature. Curvature has nothing to do with it. Drainage works in a straight line from the top to the bottom. There is no curvature. Period.
True. I mean, period. And that's why I like when I like to look at let me see. I'm trying to I like to look at what you call it I like to look at blueprints from railroad tracks. You know what I'm saying? And let me share this. Let me see. Can y'all see that? All right. Let me go to the back chat real quick. And I'm gonna show this what Mike put out. There it is. Y'all can see my screen. This is what he showed last night over on Candy's show. Where is it? Here it is. Now he showed the picture. I mean, he's showing the picture. This is making your visuals match your audio. Now he showed the picture, and I just showed you the blueprint. I just showed you the blueprint of how this right here is how the blueprint it makes the structure raise up some and then come down. He shows a picture that matches up to the blueprint. That does not mean that it's going over curvature. And this is a picture that he used to debunk soundly and maybe even Red's rhetoric or something. They're fucking idiots. They don't like to be proven wrong.
Nope.
Not to mention, they look like a damn tornado was in the sky. Did they know that they caught this tornado in the sky?
Yo, I'm trying to throw that video up from Karen B real quick.
Which one?
From Karen B.
Okay.
Go to Karen B's page.
Okay, let me back out of this. You said go to Karen B's page?
Yeah.
Alright.
And then look for I think it's called curved water found debunked. Curved water found debunked.
Man, yeah, she was on Karen. I mean, she was on what you call it show last night.
Yeah, I'll say you know Karen.
Yeah, she was on what you call the show last night.
She was there last night. Yeah, exactly.
On oh damn, I just passed it. Oh shit. Hold on, let me
There
go
you
back.
go, right there.
Yeah, I just passed it. Well now it's
Yeah,
gone. There it is.
it's like I can't believe, like, it boggles my mind that people are still trying to use those power lines at the Causeway or whatever it's called to try and encourage it. Like, really?
mute your mic real quick, bro. I'm finna let it play.
No doubt.
And this is Karen B.
Well, I don't know if you guys have seen these pictures and videos before, but they are everywhere now. This one, for instance, was taken in Lake Pontchartrain, and some people say it proves the curvature. I don't know if these guys have ever done any research on that, but we're gonna debunk that anyway. We're gonna show you an experiment. So before we get to that, I want you to see what some people say about these pictures. We got someone here that some of you may probably recognize. His channel is dedicated to correct the flat earthers, and I appreciate that. I really do. But if he has something wrong, then I think we should return the favor, right? So let's just listen to him.
And you probably have heard of the Lake Pontchartrain imagery. There's a rare case where you can sight along, just like you're sighting along a pool cue, and that is these power lines. And these power lines are exactly in a straight line. Power lines are exactly in a straight line. Power lines are exactly in a straight line. Exactly in a straight line. They're all exactly the same height. You can actually photograph this from either end, and it does curve. And Soundly has a wonderful channel. I highly recommend that you subscribe, and you literally can see these power lines curving over the earth.
So he said that those power lines are exactly on a straight line, and they are all exactly the same height. Now, I'm not going to argue the same height because I have no idea if they are really the same height. I don't even know where he got that information from. He must have done some good research on it. So let's say they are really the same height, okay? But are they really on a straight line? Let's find out. This one is easy. All we gotta do is go to Google Earth and find the power line in Lake Pontchartrain and see for ourselves if they are really on a straight line. Well, I found them, and I'm just gonna draw a straight line from the beginning to the end and see if he is right. Well, he is not. They are not on a straight line. What's up with that? Should we just let it go like they do when we make a mistake? Did he just draw a line from the beginning to the middle? Did he even check that on Google Earth? I don't think so. But here is something that I want to point out before we do the experiment. Google Earth is like a photo puzzle. They take pictures from high altitude planes and put them next to each other, then they wrap them around the globe and they try to make them fit. But they fail when it comes to long bridges or power lines like this one. If you look carefully at the lake, you will see a change of colors. And between these colors, you often see a distortion of a building or a line or even a person. The question is why? Well, if I take too many pictures of a flat table with some stuff on it and try to stitch them together in Photoshop, I will have no problem at all even if I change the height of the camera. There will be no distortion. The only problem I will have is the quality of each picture, right? So when NASA takes pictures from high altitude planes, the quality and the clouds or atmosphere.
Oh, really? Really? Look who's live, y'all.
It was like,
Look. Come on, man.
yeah, what you doing? You killed it.
Let me speed it back up to like the 4-minute mark.
The world. Yes, they are, and we're gonna test each picture separately. So in the first picture, they kind of look like they are on a straight line.
not 100% a straight line, but we can consider that as a straight line just to make them happy. As you can see, the yellow line is not in the middle anymore. Alright? Well, you can try that yourself if you don't believe me.
Body bag.
Same thing happened.
Oh. They full of shit. Let me see. I hope they
Yeah,
fuck
you
with.
can see
Are they
right
fuck
there,
with
not
my
only are they
color?
not in a straight line, but the towers actually deviate themselves.
Everything's good here. My data is good.
That's good. That's because somebody probably didn't hold their hearts with this video. That's
this video gonna blow a software chip. Here, I'm gonna put this here because I'm gonna end the show here in about 3 or 4 minutes. But I am gonna put the link to this into the chat though. Let me stop sharing my screen real quick. Cause look, I'm dying to finish watching it my damn self. You know, I'm like, oh shit. I'm like,
yeah,
oh, we got
that's
a
why
video
I'm
to match
saying.
up with the blueprint. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, that's why I'm just saying. Like for people to actually still try to use those power lines to pull curvature, to me, that's like desperate. It's been fought thoroughly.
Hey, Bill Parcell, welcome. He was over on Stanley's earlier. Yeah, we do look at Google. He says, funny how you guys trust Google Earth sometimes. Yeah. We trusted this. We trusted the. Hold on, real quick, fam. We trusted a lot of the scientists in the science books because they were right sometimes, but all the time they were not. So there you
Yeah, I
have
was
it.
gonna say Google Earth worked for me to get out of high school. Gave me a ticket. We pulled that stuff up on Google Earth. You know, and I showed there was no way she could see where I was coming from. And they threw the ticket out of court.
I mean, I use Google Maps. It usually gets me where I want to go, so it's got to be somewhat valid. I don't know.
Because Google Earth, he said, how can you trust Google Earth only sometimes? Because Google Earth they have some inaccuracies sometimes.
To me, that's like the people that say they look at you funny because you learn stuff from YouTube, but then they'll turn around and they'll go to YouTube to learn how to fix their dryer or to change the alternator or something stupid. You know what I mean? So it's like.
No, I mean it's cool. He said it's either a reliable source or it's not. Google Earth just like anything that you really look into, you eat the fish and you spit out the bones. Whether it's the Bible, whether it's a science book, whether it's a history book, whether it's NASA, you eat the fish and you spit out the bones. But NASA is mainly bones, really. Skull and bones. 322. Research it. But yeah. So even with sources that you think are a reliable source, you still want to question it and look through it with a fine tooth comb. This is what truth seekers do, man. We look for truth no matter. We even look for truth within our own movement to sometimes to see who's real and who's authentic. Which I really try not to waste too much time on that. Cause I tend to just try to focus on the scent. Here I cut my camera on. Cause I tend to just focus on the science and the observations. You know, I'm not gonna I don't I don't look through something and then present it as a reliable source just because it sounds good or just because, oh, a lot of people can relate to this. I mean, that's why I get so much backlash on Christian flat earthers. So don't go around YouTube saying that all flat earthers are Christian Bible thumping idiots. But no, because we all are not Christians, and some of us, not me personally, but some of us don't believe in God. You know, so you see what I'm saying? So you can't use that or the fact that the flat Earth society, uh, everybody knew the Earth was proving the globe then, but the flat Earth society says this and said that. They don't even speak for us, man. They controlled by the same fuckers that control NASA. They haven't produced any data. They haven't produced any observations. They haven't produced any experiment. So why would you even believe or hear anything the Flat Earth Society has to say? You dumb for believing that they're part of our movement. They are not. Okay, I yield the floor.
Yeah, just real quick, 'cause I'm reading through this. I see this dude, Bill Herschel, talking about the how can you tell what's true and what's false, and how can you use Google Earth as a reliable source? I guess is what he said. Well, Google Earth, just like JT was saying, it's just like everything else. You got to use a little bit of discernment, but just basic, I guess, common sense would tell me. Now, I've driven in the United States for well over 12 to 1400 miles at one clip, and I've used basically Google Maps, and it's pretty accurate and got me to where I was going, to a place that I'd never been before. So I can vouch and say from personal experience that it's pretty accurate, at least on the highways. So I mean, I would imagine that something as stupid as some power lines, they're not gonna. It's gonna be pretty accurate. I don't think they're gonna go out of their way to try and hide the location of some power lines that they need to know the location of in case they have an issue with it. So that kind of stuff in general tends to be pretty accurate.
Right.
That kind of helps you understand why we can say some things on Google we deem reliable and some things may not be. It's information. All information is not reliable and all information isn't true. So you got to be able to discern what's true and what's not true. And part of that comes from experimentation and part of that comes from experience. And that's pretty simple. You can't get it from that. I can't help you, brother.
He said so we're cherry picking.
People think that Google, because they're such a large company now, that a lot of times people think they're like the dark side or something like that. But I mean, I use Gmail. I use like I said, I use YouTube. I use Google for homework. I use the maps. I use MapQuest and other ones too, and you can compare them to see how accurate each one of them are. So I think it's okay. I think Google, as long as you don't get too much information about yourself, it's all right, I guess. But I don't see anything wrong with the company.
I was about to close the show.
Right.
They know more about you than you know about yourself. They know your genetic code, your genetic makeup or whatever. They got blood samples and everything, DNA from the day you were born. They know more about you than you know about yourself. Some things they're not concerned with. They don't give a crap. Half the stuff that you know or we think we know or whatever, and it absolutely is truth, but they don't give a crap that we know because they know that we can't really do anything about it because the vast majority of society in general is still under the spell and have no clue that they're under the spell. So they don't give a crap that you know the pertinent information or the stuff that's real. They'll put it out in the open. They do it every day. Most people can't discern the truth from entertainment if it bit them in their ass. You know what I'm saying? So they don't give a crap about letting you know. Consciousness is at a point where you can take that information as a society or as a humanity and take that and use it to our advantage because we don't even operate on a consciousness level high enough to process it in that fashion.
And on that note,
I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up. I just wanted to do a quick show tonight to go over this.
Hey, it was great hanging out with you guys. I have to say, you guys were all right.
Well, thank you. I appreciate you coming by,
You as
fam.
well, brother.
Yeah, I definitely appreciate you coming by. But yeah, I just wanted to do a quick show while I was on because I probably would have forgot about it by tomorrow. So I just wanted to do a quick show over the Causeway and tell people to actually really look into it and don't just go by a photo or something. You know, if you see a photo that seems it can prove one or the other, why don't you look deeper and see how that object was structured before you come to your conclusion. You know, that's being unbiased. Being biased is looking at photos, thinking it's proven curve, and then just leaving it there without seeing how it was built, seeing that it was built without curvature in mind, you know. But on that note, I appreciate all of y'all coming through. And of course, stay true to yourself. But be kind to each other. Stay true to yourself. Stay flat. Keep it flat. I'm out, fam. Thanks. Appreciate that, fam. Y'all coming through. And y'all have a good night. Thanks.